We haven't played E6 yet as a team. We know they're a fast-paced team. Kind of just talked over their gameplay and what we need to do to adapt and match up with them. They kind of like to flood hills and hardpoint, so we're definitely going to have a lot more hill presence against them. And then their S&D game, we've seen a lot of their strats and the way they like to play. Don't want to say too much, but we definitely are ready to adjust to what they like to do.
How we prepare for a team against Ghost Gaming is we just go out there and play our game. I mean, they may have beat FaZe, but I feel like that was a weak FaZe. Zuma had problems with his hands. Clay had something going on, I believe, with his tooth. I don't feel like they should have played, and Ghost Gaming just took advantage of a weak FaZe.
I feel like the roster change of between the Emery's and Royalty, I feel like it definitely benefited E6. They have Proto just being fast on the map, and they have Royalty on top of that, so it's just definitely something we got to shut down.
I personally think if we're pulling up to our standards and we're taking those first 2 maps, or at least taking a 1-1 per series, we can 3-1 them. But it all has to come down to how consistent we are in our hard points and whether we can close out our S&Ds.
Our series versus E6, I think the outcome's going to go to a Game 5 for sure. Only reason being is because going into this event, you know, we're just realistic and we know that our hard point's weak, but we're so confident in our search and destroy and uplink gameplay that we think we'll go the distance and end up closing it out on that Game 5.
Up next on the main stage here at the CWL Global Pro League, Enigma6 take on Ghost Gaming, and this is a must-win for Enigma6. Of course, this is the second time that we have now seen these two teams compete. The first time, it was a 3-1 Ghost Gaming victory. Enigma6, I believe they only took that first hard point, so pressure on E6. Merc, you kind of touched it to open the show, but this really is probably the biggest game of today.
Yeah, there's a lot of people just focus on can Ghost Gaming make playoffs, yada yada. That to me really doesn't matter. The chances of them not making playoffs are zeroed and basically nothing. The thing is if Enigma6 beats Ghost Gaming right here, that would put them at 3-2, tied with FaZe. They play Elevate next, that's probably gonna be a W. So they would be 4-2 at that point. The last match of the night would be between FaZe and Ghost. FaZe has to win that game. So Enigma6, you know, you gotta win right here.
Really could put a lot of pressure on FaZe Clan. Of course, on the flip side, though, remember, if Ghosts do win, then they guarantee that spot at playoffs.
You know, not only guaranteeing it, but making a statement. It's like we're not just 4-0 and getting through, or 4-2.
Right.
We're 5-0. We're better than every team here. They could even finish 6-0, you know, by the end of the day. And if they do that, they go into playoffs, and people will be looking at them as you know, one for the contender of taking that title. So I think that's really important for them. They don't want to slack off and think, we're pretty good, we're getting through. They want to 6-0 this group.
Again, though, you made a perfect point to open the show. You know, we saw a similar thing at Anaheim. We saw the Bittersweet squad come out and just obliterate through groups. We were kind of all taken aback, and then they fall into winner's bracket. They lose against Splice, and they go into the loser's bracket. They fall against Red Reserve. I mean, what kind of Ghost Gaming are you expecting, especially considering, I mean, there's our map set too.
I think this match right here is going to really determine how good this Ghost Gaming lineup is. We go back to Anaheim, they did fall off. It's really hard to put them in that sort of top 8 scale right now when it comes when you're talking about the top elite teams in the GPL. So this for me today is where you solidify yourself as getting that #1 seed. #1 seeds going into playoff are going to be very important. Well, you should be securing yourself a easier, some quote-unquote easier matchup going into playoffs. So I want them to shut it down here. E6 though, clutched up last night.
Yeah, they sure did. And if you saw those maps, I mean, Breakout and Frost, I feel like both these teams just have so many fast slayers. It's going to be really intense. And Breakout, for me, it's going to come down to Proto and Lacefield, because we saw yesterday, Lacefield loves to use that E-Rad on Breakout the entire time, does a great job with it, averages like 2 minutes in the hill, like a 1.5 KD, so watch out for Proto versus Lacefield.
Enigma6 versus Ghost Gaming, arguably the most important game of today, really is going to shape how the rest of today goes down. We can send it down to our casters for the series. It's Maven and Courage.
Thanks, gentlemen. Yes, must win for Enigma6.
Yeah.
The battle for top 2. It's going to be going down here over the course of the next couple matches, buddy.
Oh, I'm excited for this one, and it sets the stage for the end of today. There were some questions yesterday, you know, if FaZe won that series versus E6, what would really be the battle for Sunday? Well, with that loss there and the reverse sweep that E6 got, it set the stage for what we have on this, well, I guess you could call it a mini championship Sunday to move towards the big event that is Stage 2 playoffs. Everything on the line for Enigma6. It starts right here in this matchup. They've got to win. Honestly, a swift 3-0 is all the better, too.
Oh, what a god, man. If they come out of this and FaZe doesn't, just think about it. Like, you're going to have nightmares about allowing that reverse sweep.
Oh, 100%.
And just some of the chokes they did, the poor use of the bombardment, like, it's a laundry list of things for FaZe.
That was strange, man. I still haven't gotten a chance to talk to the FaZe players about what their thought process was behind it, but it just kind of seemed like a panic play. If you're wondering what we're talking about, be sure to go back and watch the E6 versus FaZe clan retaliation hardpoint from yesterday. FaZe, they used a bombardment on Bridge Hill when there was like 16 seconds.
They were up 100 plus at one point, too.
It was just a strange scenario of events. Either way, that was yesterday. This is today. Ghost Gaming versus E6. Breakout hardpoint.
Mox making a name for himself all weekend long. What has he got left in the tank here on day 3? As they start to push out towards mid-map, Luke to get control here of the central rooftop. Just biding his time right now.
Buying his time indeed. General, though, with the quick shots downrange. Spacely, his goal right here, try to just stay alive inside showers. He's got the help of a teammate there as well. Everything on this top middle hardpoint, if you're wondering how a team can secure the time, it all comes down to controlling that loading and showers area. You keep a player in the hardpoint, they just sit behind that block, use that for cover. Their teammate in showers is the one shooting across, shooting the player challenging in the hill. It's basically your line of defense to ensure you get that time.
Right now, you're trying to rack up what time you can for E6. On the other side, Ghost just trying to make sure they secure these spawns. Hold on as we get to cell block. As Mox wins the one-on-one with Cade and Spacely in a sneaky corner here inside of Showers. That's going to be complete control for the next hard point. They'll be looking to rally now and pick up a big chunk of a lead here for Ghost.
And wow, they have a very far pushed out setup for this. Unfortunate timing there for Lacefield. Spacely also decides to start sprinting. And now the setup they have, there's no opportunity for a trade in either side of the map. It's now a 3v2 and the spawns earned for E6. This collapse could work out quite perfectly unless Lamagod as well as Mox can go huge.
That flip happened very quickly, but like you said, E6 going to try, Ghost going to try and go massive, and they do just that. You enjoyed just, pleasant spawns for just a moment for E6. Get obliterated quickly, though.
Lacefield, nice little strafe right there. NV4 and ERAD combo ready to go. Still just challenging towards Proto. The confidence from this man right now. Had a great weekend up to this point. You heard Merc mention, watch out for the battle between him and Proto in this series. Right now, he does have the upper hand. So he's got 21 seconds in the objective, and his team's up by 45.
Enigma6 completely set up for Grave. We'll have to keep an eye on what Ghost can do here on the break. Also, Lamagod trying to build towards streaks. He's 5-1, 4 kills in a row. Lamagod just tacked on a 5th. Lacefield, the first one over the top. Llama gets in next. There you go. 50 now off the Trinity rocket, using the box here for cover. Tries to go over the top, and just a little bit short. He hits his shots. He gets some streaks.
That's all he had to do. He was baiting himself right there for his teammates to push on through. Brilliant break by Ghost. They get the first kill. No hesitation at all. Remember, there is that 2.5-second respawn delay. So they have an opening while the player's coming off spawn to push on through and get that bulldozer cover. But as easy of a break it was for Ghost, Enigma6 make it look even easier for themselves as they just get 4 straight kills and wipe them off the map.
It's kind of how cell block went, right?
Yeah.
Just it looks like a team has control cemented, then back and forth the battle goes. General trying to go big in showers, but will end up cut down. They don't have the back spawn controlled for helipad yet for Enigma6, so that's actually going to be an opening now for Ghost to get in position. Look at this, Lamagod's going to be set up. He's in a nice corner to cut them off on transition. They hit it at the same time. Ends up being a team kill. Royalty one shot, but nobody there to trade it out yet. So multiple players now flying into the hard point. Spawns in favor of Enigma6. They'll be able to reinforce it much quicker.
We saw Mox actually die there, and I didn't get a chance to see. I was taking a sip of water when it happened, but I'm not sure if he tried to jump off the map and reset his spawn towards that back helipad area where his teammate was. Something that I would love to potentially take a look at after this map is done, but either way, it doesn't work out for him. He still spawns just as far away. Some nice shots there from Spacely, but either way, these back spawns held by Enigma6, and there's still 30 seconds left in this hardpoint, Maven. They can take the lead right here.
Doing a solid job holding it so far on Lamagod's POV. They've got one more crack at this. Maybe try and at least get some time contested or find a few kills. As Llama drops, that's going to be it. We're going to head into our second set of rotations. All this time will be going to Enigma6. There's the lead as they'll try to push it out a bit here. Proto, who we talked about his struggles in Search and Destroy this weekend, doing a nice job here in respawns.
This is what Breakout is. Think of the first hard point, a little bit scrappy between both teams. Then you had basically all of that bottom cell block hill, as well as the first half of that Grave hard point go over to Ghost. That's how they got their lead. Well, since then, it's Enigma6 who held the last 30 seconds on that graveyard hard point, the entirety of Commissary. Now they're up by 20. You've got full streaks from Cade. Proto near double positive, everything going right for E6.
It's like it's somebody else every time, right? Like as much as General kind of in stage 1 impressed, then it was Proto kind of talking at Anaheim in playoffs, and then now you look at Cade, like he's the next man up. Him and Royalty have arguably been the best 2 players on this Enigma 6 lineup. It's been great to see.
That's why they wind up wanting to add Royalty to this team. They know of his potential as a player. You can see the setup finally broken for Ghost to get on through. They're keeping Lacefield in shower, spacely challenging from this middle hard point. Either way, we should have ourselves a 15, 20-second game as we move towards cell block. The big focus, though, Maven, the right side of your minimap. You've got General and Cade pushing for those spawns. Not sure if Mox has any clue, though. He's about to get collapsed on by 3 different players.
You see on the minimap Mox, everyone just soaring in now. He was able to win the first gunfight. Can he do it again? He's up over the top, finally tagged and taken out, and E6 will have control, and the lead continues to build. Spacely and company trying to break in, but there's one in top window. Can he win it against Royalty? The answer is no. The help comes in from E6. This has been a nice, stretch of 60, 90 seconds here where Enigma 6 is really taking control.
Right there from Lacefield, I feel like you got to play that a little bit more passive. They don't know you're in the back of the map. Instead, as your teammates are ready to go for the wall run, then wind up shooting your opponents in the back. Clear that lane for your team. There, preemptively shoots, there's no potential for a follow-up, and because of it, the rest of the time will go to Enigma 6, and Proto's already here at the next hard point.
Nice shots from Proto there to pick up the first. Just delaying as best he can the push that comes in from Cave. Lacefield will finally get the better of him, but it is traded out nicely. General is on a 5 streak right now. We know Cade already got fully streaked out. How close is he? He's 150 off. He's only got 25 bullets in the clip to work with.
Wow. Lacefield has started to get shredded from those first couple hills where he did well. Now 7 and 15. One of his slower hardpoint performances of the weekend up to this point. Ghost Gaming do have control of the new hill. Still more streaks available though for Enigma 6.
And General dropped, I believe, right before he was able to pick up any streaks. So it's still just going to be in the hands of Cade. They're going to try and play behind the Scarab here from General. He is able to actually find 1 kill. Lacefield and Lamagod, though, in the hard point, slowing everybody down. Lacefield goes big with a 2-piece, and this is going to be a big chunk of time for Ghost.
Definitely. And last time Enigma 6 were in this scenario, they broke from pushing through Cave. You hear the bombardment now coming in. Cade's able to get 1 with it. Mox has the pinch covered, so they know the rest of the pressure has to come from Cave. Are they ready for it? Spacely's only able to get 1. You've got some help from Lamagod on a 1-on-1 on the hard point. Royalty gets the better of him there. Scrap time again to Enigma 6. Now, that's only 10 seconds of scrap time, Maven, but that's a 20-second swing in the grand scheme of the game. Think about that difference as this game closes out.
Now it's going to be all about Commissary. Mox set up in a good position, but 2 players are hitting him in the back towards helipad. He will end up falling, but Lacefield is inside. Can Spacely and him come up clutch here as the pressure starts to come in. Spacely picked off now by General. Just trying to hold, waiting for the collapse. You see E6 spread up all around the hard point. They should come soaring in now.
I really love these double clusters from Lacefield, using them as a zoning tool towards these doors. He just drops them down. Obviously can force players to either wait for it to explode and blow up into that mini cluster that you see, or he can use it as someone to just buy his teammate time to push through a different lane on a map. Spacely now beginning to heat up. He's 18 and 15, leading his team in slang.
He does end up dropping, but gets the assist there. The Scarab, I believe, ends up tacking up 2 players. Lamagod then given enough time to come up over the top, but Proto still holding strong. Delays long enough for Royalty to get in and trade the kill. You got a good chunk of time for Ghost. But again, the final scrap time will go to E6.
This is where Ghosts have to make a little bit of a comeback on this middle hill. They have the exact setup that they could want. Proto still with no camo. Spacely continuing to win his one-on-one engagements. Royalty trying to be sneaky. Flooding to this bottom visitor. Lacefield has no idea. Cade now on the pinch too. Nice job by Enigma 6 to flank from different angles.
And remember, one of the victories they got on this breakout hard point, we know they're not great, except at retaliation, but the breakout victory they got is the one where Mox had to set an all-time kill record on this particular map. You're not getting a
or something like that?
You're not getting a performance like that right now. You can't expect to get that, obviously, every time, but I'm not shocked to see E6 in the lead right now, just knowing how poor Ghost has been in hardpoint outside of retaliation.
No, I completely agree with you on that one. I do like where General's positioned himself here. I feel like he's someone who can excel at locking down this area. Exactly. Knows maybe I should pick up a K-bar. FTL jumps forward. That might be a little bit over-eager right there, but either way, the damage has been done. It's a 50-second lead for E6. They've got control of the new spawns. Potential money here. Hill now down in cell block. Mox is trying to contest as again, he's the only one here for his team in a position to do something about it.
Well, Spacely got the first kill. The rest of the kill feed goes the way of E6. So
GG.
The first break not going to happen. They should be able to hold here. Mox is a kill or two away from camo. Maybe that's what you can use to get an entry. Spacely again with another pick. They have a 4v3 advantage. They need to try and get in. As Lacefield locates one more player to beat. That's going to be General inside. He actually wraps around the back. Still being contested. E6 doing a good job with a low man advantage here, is trying to contest as long as they can.
Here's the awkward part, though. They have to not only keep bodies here at cell block, but rotate on over towards Grave. Look, Enigma6 actually just spawned up there. It's all going to come down to Mox's camo for me. If there's any chance for Ghost Gaming to potentially come back in this game, they need a perfect camo play towards this hill and get a flawless break to get this time.
Can we check on Cade real quick? Does he still have...
There you go. That's the camo. That's it.
Does Cade still have Trinity? Can we take a look real quick? No, he does not. Okay.
That's why that was possible. Mox pushed into a 1v2, and there was a team kill grenade from the side of Enigma6, so he wins a one-on-one gunfight. He should have been at a disadvantage, but instead, a flechette hits his teammate right in the face. They have their pitch now covered. Ghost Gaming can still do this, Maven.
They've cracked the 200-point mark, trying to get the flawless hold here on Graveyard. We've seen so many big swings, so many big comebacks on Breakout Hardpoint. Over to Lamagod's POV. FTL to work with, getting pressured. Good job playing his life. He gets a nice angle there, I thought, for a second on Proto, but drops. Now it's Camo coming in from Proto, trying to get to the back. That's everybody getting wiped off the board for Ghost Gaming. This could be it. It's Lamagod going to be next in, unless he can do something miraculous with FTL.
He can still reach it with FTL, but his teammates are still just coming off spawn. He's trying to get near the hard point. Not going to happen. One final push here. Lacefield now dead. Enigma6 win map 1. And they're getting hyped about it for good reason. 250 to 221.
The Hardpoint woes outside of retaliation continue for Ghost Gaming. You know, it's hard to talk about their struggles because they've been so good this weekend, but we know coming into this event, they talked about that's not really their forte. They felt best about their search and destroy when matching up against the teams this weekend. They're going to need to do it here because, again, there is that very, very slight possibility where Ghost falls out of the top 2, but it's really just they need to win a map.
Yeah.
They win a map, they're good. But right now, still a test.
Remember that moment on Graveyard in the second rotation where I mentioned, think of that 20-second swing that we saw for that bit of scrap time because of that clutch 1v2 play. That 20-second swing that Enigma6 gets, they only win by 29. So you think maybe if that scrap time goes over to Ghost, it has a little bit of a change of how that final push goes there. Instead of being rushed, they can kind of set up, maybe go for a pinch in middle and look to retake Grave. Instead, Enigma6 just narrowly edge out Ghost on their start to a potential top 2 finish this weekend.
They edged out, and Royalty a big part of that. You know, we've seen General struggle at times, Proto as well. Royalty has really been stepping it up. We had a chance to talk with him about joining this team. Let's take a look.
I'm gonna go all the way back into Season 2 relegation. It's back when we had Swanee on Epsilon, and I was kind of brought in as like a new player who didn't know anything. Like I was kind of like, who's Royalty? But I was friends with Remy. Remy trusted me. So then we went on to get 4th at UMG Dallas. We beat Uplink that event as well. Then we went to Season 3 playoffs, was our next notable like a big event, and we ended up getting 3rd there. We lost to Optic in the winners bracket finals. And then after that event, it was kind of like a downhill spiral for me. I got dropped from Epsilon. I wasn't really given a reason why. And then leading into Black Ops 3 now, I kind of got picked up on 100 King Poppy, which later became 100 Thieves. Didn't have a lot of success there. Then after that, I joined with Allegiance. It was me, Mochilla, Exotic, and Remy. And then basically we got top 16 at Champs. We made a roster change, picked up Sinful, got 4th at Vegas. Then like what happened in Black Ops 3, kind of just went downhill. We didn't do too well later in the year. And then I was performing pretty well, so I guess E6 kind of just saw that, and I was lucky enough to get this opportunity. LG was a really good team. I enjoyed playing with them a lot. I know Remy's a really good player, but it just came down to like people just weren't performing at the events. We just got everyone on the same page. We could have been in the pro league even right now. The whole LG team was a bunch of like my best friends. I was kind of like the outsider, I guess, going into E6. It was kind of awkward because I was teaming with friends for so long. They ended up being really cool, so I mean, it ended up working really well. So I enjoyed being here, and I'm excited for the future with them.
Royalty's just a nice guy. He's someone you get along with. He's good to have. He's always got a smile on his face around the venue. He's someone that, he's like an anomaly in how he plays at times. We always talk about the sensitivity, his aggression on the map, I think he's done a lot of learning as a player, especially since he really began to break out just a couple of years ago. And he's begun to really make a name for himself in the competitive Call of Duty scene.
Yeah, I think he's become more well-rounded. I remember talking to Parasite back in AW. He actually, if I remember correctly, he got dropped because he was such a liability on something like Parliament, where he had to have long-range AR fights. He always played high sense. He was very good in up-close personal fights. When he went to long range, he really struggled. I think he's improved in that capacity as time has gone on. Just again, becoming a much better all-around player.
If you're just hearing about Royalty since he got picked up on E6, go look at the transformation, not only that he's made in-game, but out of game too. From the way he first looked when he came onto the scene, he would wear like a Capitals hat, he had like long hair, and then next thing you know, he kind of takes a break for competitive from a bit, comes back, the guy's got a new fresh haircut, he's rocking the gold chain, he's got some new shoes.
It's a Clayster-like transformation.
It actually really was. It's a good way to put it.
All right, here we go. Game 2, Ghost trying to take back control of their destiny with a win in Search and Destroy. E6 trying to just demolish them right now, keep their hopes alive for the $500,000 playoff.
Llama God, he's just waiting. He's just waiting, and I love this positioning from him. He's also got some help. Yep, there it is. Mox was ready for the trade. I love this setup from Ghost Gaming. On this side of the map, already 4 dead from Enigma6. They were ready for that A push, Maven. Again, showing how prepared they are for this weekend.
And they really are. I know we've harped on it a lot, but I was talking to Spacely about it, and he's like, yeah, man, we were prepared. We have a lot of strategies we use. And he's like, trust me, I know, though. After the success we've seen this weekend, people are going to be watching our film. We're going to have to mix it up, get back to the drawing board, and come up with some new stuff.
Yep.
It was great to hear his plans already developing before the weekend's even over.
Well, you've heard about other pro players talk about, hey, we watched this team for VOD, we watched this team for strats. People are going to be watching some of these setups that Ghosts have brought out.
Absolutely.
And just keep them in their back pocket. It's not going to be their normal break, but if you're expecting a full A push, why not maybe bring that out that you just saw right there in a round 8, round 9 scenario in one of your maps. Pretty sure Spacey was already weak, or General's got the fastest kill in the history of Call of Duty. It's already 3 dead for Ghost. Lacefield last alive, or Llama God last alive, sorry.
Llama's had some nasty clutches this weekend. He wins this one. Suddenly it's a 1v1. He has been so good, man. So many final kill cams and Search throughout the weekend.
He's out of there. He just sprints right away. Absolutely winnable. 1v1 versus Proto. Does he spot the high wall run? I think Proto's seen him.
I thought Llama saw him too.
Wait. No.
Now he's spotted. He should be dead in a moment. There we go. What an awkward little 1v1 we had there with the wall running.
If I'm Llama God, I'm thinking, there's no way he's flying that high above me right now, but look at how high up Proto is.
Harnessing his inner Nagafin.
Yes, he most certainly was. Except Nagafin would have had a sniper, tried to 360.
And fell off the map.
Yeah. That's a round win now for Enigma6. As they'll now be on offense, see if they can change things up a little bit to make this one go a little bit more in their favor.
I mean, it's big you close out that round. I know it's still early in this game too, but giving up a 1v3 like that, it can tilt certain teams. So Proto, a good job clutching up. We've been critical of his Search and Destroy results so far this weekend, but he wins a big 1v1.
Royalty spots one player. Proto not able to push up to the bomb quite yet. Wondering what type of utility we still see from Ghost. Now the objective will begin to go down. Lacefield though, no one's watching C1. That's Curb and the nade comes in. Remember I talked about what type of nades they still had? There it shows. You can't begin to plant when nothing has been thrown down at that A site.
Well, Cade with the massive 3-piece last night. Even more work to do here. No chance.
This is still one of my bigger critiques on the side of Enigma6 this weekend. There have been some glaring times where they've been lacking tac mask, especially in Uplink. And there's been some times in Search and Destroy where they've been lacking a trophy system when they want to go for a plant. We have seen so many plants from this Enigma6 team, and the times that they're successful is when they focus, obviously, with the Centurion there, when they wind up playing around a trophy system. When they don't, they go for these 4v4 plant scenarios, and they just get hit by easy nade spots. It's an exploit that Ghost Gaming have now begun to notice, and they're taking advantage of it.
Ghost also with the advantage now in game 2. Llama God just looking over this mid. He should spot one. He's got a fight here at the van. Tags him up, but Proto, good job getting away with his life. Still got 4 up for either side. Right now, Ghost just playing it slow, trying to see what kind of defense is being thrown at him. And now they're making their decision to hit towards A. You can see General has really backed it up. Can't win the first one. That's a big win for Mox. That's not an easy one.
Yeah, he's now cleared out the backside of the map, and that'll let them plant this bomb for Cathedral. They have their 4 blue arrows all set up. There is no way someone gets in a one-on-one gunfight.
This has got to be one of the harder retakes in Search and Destroy in IW. When you plan for the backside and you have full Cathedral control, I mean, the amount of time it just takes to clear.
Yeah, exactly. Look at how far away Proto and Royalty even are from that side of the map. It's going to take them a good 15 seconds to get on over here, and there's still 4 people alive for Ghost.
They know they got to go. You just don't have time to play with. Royalty does get a kill. Proto gets one as well, spotted in the back, but you still have all the position in the world. There's just so little time to work with. It's such a long track over that bridge. Cade has popped it. He's on it. He's on it.
He's got it.
He's got it. You're not going to get vision here. Mox kills Proto, and he gets the second kill, but they get the defuse. So me saying that's one of the harder retakes. All right, E6. You maybe don't make it look easy, but you get it done.
So that is one of those where you have to begin to wonder. You have 4 people all back there. The only way you really lose that round is if you start to get pieced like that just happened. Is there any downside to Mox starting to like late flank back down through Market Stairs, going in towards Platt, and kind of re-emerging on Bridge? You know your teammates are going to spend those next 15 seconds staying alive. That's exactly what happened. They just basically hopped the bomb in hopes that there would be no one pitching, and that's exactly what happened.
You know, you heard Teep kind of talk about the fact that teams have been very hesitant to actually hop on the bomb in this game. I know it's a timing thing mostly too, but they hop on it. It ends up working out.
Well, that's one of those scenarios where it's like, well, here's just the hoping, right? This is the only chance we have to win this round is if I begin defusing the bomb right now.
Ooh. Well, Proto smokes one there on Platt.
Yeah, he's cooking.
Lamagod almost clutched up in a 1v3. Can he give his team a chance? You can see how far out Mox and Lamagod are currently. Mox is going to be the one that really needs to make a play here.
Mainly for that payload. So close to it already, just in round 5. Oh!
Catch.
Proto. 2 of the faster kills we've seen. One a grenade to the face, the other one basically just 4 bullets instantly with that AR.
And you can see why he's playing the way he is. He's 150 off Trinity, so close to the camo. His life very valuable right now.
Who was in this corner yesterday? Zed? On Elevate when he was just standing here. Can you see me now?
He might get a kill. Might get a kill. Might get
big.
killed. That is an absolutely huge kill for Enigma6. You don't allow Mox to get camo going into the next round. You don't allow him to get closer to the Trinity rocket. This is just a huge, huge kill by General.
Wondering if he knows how big that was exactly. You could see Mox shaking his head there in frustration. Knows that is one of those times where that swings the entire map.
They have to, there's a reason they're hunting for him. They have to know he's working on streaks. He got the final 2 kills in that round. You know they're communicating, going back and forth. He's got to be close. He's got to be close. Find him.
Well, the more telling thing is even if you didn't realize how far he was on a streak, you know that if he hasn't jumped off, he's obviously going for a streak, especially because your bomb planter was still alive. So that extra points were going towards the bomb planter to get closer to those streaks on Proto.
I'll tell you what, E6 gets a 3-0 here. My, how interesting things will get, but a couple kills going back and forth. Suddenly, Lamagod by himself, another chance to clutch. He had a 1v3 opportunity earlier. Can he do it here? No, both pushing him up through those market steps, and E6 close out another round.
Enigma6 looking better today than they have the rest of this weekend up to this point. We'll see it again here from Royalty. He had help as well. There's Cade with the assist in the top right of your screen.
And that's a good job by Enigma6, kind of buddying up there, right? He has FTL, so if he gets one of those kills, he's absolutely maybe able to make a play, but good job by E6. A couple great late round plays here from their side.
You don't see this too often. E6 up 4-2 with a player still with a goose egg. Cade thanking his team for bailing him out here.
I mean, Cade's been bailing out Proto a little bit. Now it's a time to return the favor, right? Proto, we know he can be great in search. He has not been on this particular map. He's going off.
Enigma6 have slowed down the aggression for quick plants so far. And I think that's the right decision to do. Saying, hey, let's play for first bloods. We've been getting majority of them. There's another from Royalty.
Yeah, it's back-to-back first bloods for him.
Oh, they're trying to get away from the Scarab. Actually, that's a smart play. Royalty dips behind the corner, so only tags up 1.
Wow. Wow, yeah. Wow. Basically holding the corner. General does not care as he wins it. And now another tough spot. How many times am I going to say that? Just, it seems like all these positions you've been in, if he kills him before the bomb gets planted, things become a whole hell of a lot more interesting. But the bomb does get in. Mox and Llama. They've been in 2v3s before. Mox just trying to get away with his life, can't do it. Llama, another clutch scenario for him. He's tagged up one below him, snaps on, turns into a 1v1. FTL to work with.
He can chase us down. Yeah. He's got enough time to do this still.
Here he goes. He just spotted him. He was in a similar 1v1 earlier this weekend. Bye-bye, General. 16 seconds left, plenty for the defuse. Llama has been so clutch in search this weekend.
And look, with 2.5 seconds to spare, folks, in those times, you just have to make a decision. Llama says he's got to be at back bridge. I've just got to go. I can't care about what else happens. It's my only chance of winning this round. He soars right at him. And because he does that, he has enough time to get back to the top.
He did the same thing against Elevate. I think it was against, maybe it was Watson, but it was a different side of cover there. But at bridge, a 1v1 with time against him, where he's just out in the open against somebody with a bit of cover to work with and just lines him up.
Think of what that does. It's now not 5-2 Enigma6. It's a 1-round difference. Ghost Gaming now back on offense. They've got a payload to work with, and you have Lamagod still building a streak.
See if Lamagod can get these streaks to work with. Mox was awfully close. Mox now eliminated. Another first blood coming in for Enigma6. They want to push this out. You cut him down. A huge kill from Royalty, but Spacely in the back trying to do what he can. Not able to finish them all. The 5th round in for Enigma6.
E6 blind counter the push, and boy, oh boy, were they right there. They had 2 players in curve, 2 staying alive at the back tank. You saw Royalty for a fraction of a second on your screen right there. Cade and crew come flying on out. Spacely, not much you can do with 3 players shooting at him.
Here we go. Enigma6 looking to close out this game too. And take what? It was 2 map losses total for Ghost coming in today?
I believe so.
And now you're at risk of losing back-to-back against E6.
Royalty already pushing forward. Thankfully for Ghost, they do finally get a first blood. It's Mox now at 7-5.
Your first blood is gone, yeah.
Proto and Royalty are there to take the number advantage into E6's favor.
Royalty's been exceptional. If it's not a first blood, it's like that where it's basically, it almost is one, right? He counters the first blood you got immediately out of Ghost Gaming. He's been so good. Llama on the other side has been spectacular, but he's been taken out of this round. They won't be able to rely on his clutchness here.
Time ticking down. Mox does have camo. Proto, though, has one for himself, too.
Nice
Beautiful
kill.
shots from Mox.
Nice kill. He can't die in that situation. He has to go. He's got camo to work with, has to pop it. Going up over the top. Did he see him cross to the left? There's the first kill. Does he locate the second? I'm not sure if he saw him cross. I believe he did. There's so little time, though.
He's got no idea. Oh, he lost him. That's it. Enigma6 will take it 6-3. Up 2-0. E6, their playoff hopes are still alive.
And they are just making things interesting across the board. You know, Ghost can't go 0-6. The first series certainly at risk of getting swept now by Enigma6. Wow.
I was counting up the scoreboard there for the kills on that map. It's actually, you don't see it too often, but E6 wins 6-3, but the kills between both teams are almost dead even at the end of that map. I know our analysts will probably talk about it a little bit more later on and what exactly that means at S&D.
You had Llama last alive in, 3 or 4 different scenarios where he got a couple kills but didn't win. We obviously saw the one clutch, but I think that's mostly what it attests to. You had Mox in a couple like 1v3s, same goes for Lamagod. They were just getting kills that didn't exactly matter, I guess you could say.
They were close to a point, though, of making those 1v3s happen, especially with that camo play. You thought Mox had a chance there, but unfortunately not the case. E6 now up 2-0. They're looking much better here on Championship Sunday. Finally got some games under their belt.
Uplink up next. Can Enigma6 secure the much-needed 3-0? We'll find out after this quick break.
What a scenario we find ourselves in here for our G Fuel key player matchup. Enigma6 were on the verge of being out of playoff contention last night, down 0-2 to FaZe, but were able to reverse sweep that series and have now continued their map victories in a row, pushing it to 5 with a 2-0 start in this best of 5 against Ghost Gaming. But if there is a player who can try to shut down this momentum of E6, it's gotta be Lamagod. The guy has been absolutely electric at Uplink this weekend at a 1.29 KD. Can General and crew close out the series here in a 3-0? Let's find out. This has been your G Fuel key player matchup.
Welcome back, Enigma6, looking for the hot 3-0. It's going down on Uplink, and God, I mean, that puts some pressure on Ghost, right?
Does it put some pressure on Ghost? Yes, it does indeed. Boy, oh boy, could this possibly happen? Merck said the chances of Ghost Gaming not making it near impossible, but every map that goes by, it becomes a little bit more probable.
Think how absurd it is. Like you're 12-2, I believe, coming into today.
Cruising.
You've lost 2 maps.
Mm.
You've now lost back-to-back maps.
Okay. And you've got FaZe later.
But okay, so there's 2 things here I think are interesting. You have Enigma6, who were very good at Uplink. They don't seem to be as polished as good since Royalty joined.
Absolutely.
And on the other side, Lamagod has been nuts in this particular mode. I mean, mostly on throwback, but just in general, he has been very, very good.
There's a look at Lamagod now. Fist bumps all around for Ghost. It's been one of their true tests so far this weekend. We'll see how this new team can battle back. Do they have the ability to go for the reverse sweep like E6 did last night against FaZe? Or will the team on your screen win their first series of the day and head into, I believe, a match next versus Elevate that you expect them to just steamroll like the rest of the squads have?
Yeah, I mean, for Ghost, obviously, I realize, very different situations, but if you're Ghost, you cruise Thursday, Friday, Saturday, when you're talking about Anaheim, you then fall apart on Sunday. You cruise here, Friday, Saturday, at a risk to fall apart on Sunday. I mean, I know it's very different comparing open tournament, obviously, to our round robin format here, but it's possible.
Well, here we go. Enigma6 fans, they need you right now. We're watching Proto off the break. This guy loves to hold the sprint analog stick forward and spray with the submachine gun just like that. We'll go ahead and swap on over to Royalty, who's got a Karma. This man loves to hold the sprint button forward.
Oh, is that what everyone does?
Submachine. I don't know what I would. Proto just beat Spacely down so hard he went flying off the map.
Royalty. This should be 2. There's the first dunk. They've got control of the base. If he stays up, he will fall. You've cleared it for now as Proto is going to drop, and now it's a sprint back to mid-map.
Enigma6 are hot and spicy right now like a good taco on a summer's day. This team has all the momentum, and they're getting loud in the booth. Let's take a listen.
Stop, I'll push you to the right. Team kill. Play the interception. I got it. Come on, guys, let's fucking go. I'm wrapping this all the way around. You guys gotta get. You guys have to win those. Top ship. Box is out. Box push. Let's just push it. Jordan on the left. 2 middle. Mid. Literally just fucking go. Come on, guys, let's go. We're good. Relax. Go. Are you? Jay's killing time. Let's go to the base, Jay. Throw to the base. Okay, I did. Llama's ring. I'm trying to, bro. I got one. One more here. Off the map. There's one more there. Mid. Weak. Mox. Yo, Llama, come on. We need kills. I know. Relax, dude. All right. One in ship somewhere. Probably gonna play ship, guys. Because I have. They are. They're playing ship. Yeah, he's under base. Left side, Mox. Absolute. One's under base. He's flanking blue. He's flanking blue. All right, flank blue. Good one. 2 dead. Flanking blue. More. He's cut. He's a blue. Nice. This guy's cut. Yeah, he's here. I don't see him. He's probably under you. Yeah. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna go right here. He's mid. Nice. One more here. Another one. Spacely's left side. He's there. Spacely. Dead. Nice. Over here. I couldn't get the last guy there. Left. He's reset. Play middle. One cut. Watch him middle. Bring him in, boys. Side. Yo, Box is weak left. Box is weak. Oh, ship. He's gonna go ice, I think. Lacefield. Holding left for here. They're probably gonna go ice, guys. Okay. But push him out. Come on there, dead. Another one. Playing interception, playing interception. Good job. Let's go behind you guys. Run that. Toss it up. That was all dead. Yeah, kill her. You two kill her. Put her, get it. Joey's back on the heady. Joey's weak. Two middle pillar. They're heady Mux. There's two there. Yeah, Spacey's weak. Team kill. One team kill. Let's go. Don't bump me. I got it. Let's go. Let's go there. I'm trying to play my life. Spacely's Owing, bro. I'm dead. Over here.
Royalty with one hell of a turn on there to give them another dunk, but I don't know, Comms seemed a little frantic, like, you know, they're in the final 60 seconds of a game.
That's what you're saying.
It's almost like every time they get a couple down, General was trying to like hype them up or motivate them, and they'd be like, settle down, we're all right. Like, how many times did he say something like, we're good, dude?
It was actually really interesting to hear. You can see, they definitely have the hype, though. They get that interception, all four of them get loud. Let's go, boys, let's keep this going. They are putting the pressure on with these submachine guns. They're flying forward. Proto misses there, but it winds up being a blessing in disguise as a dunk comes on through. See one player actually AFK on the map, so I'm wondering what's exactly going on with Mox. As we'll take a look at that, we'll hear from admins what's going on there. Either way, definitely not good in Call of Duty to be standing.
Well, that could explain this insane rally we've seen from 2 to 8 points for Enigma6. Not sure if it's a controller issue or what's going on, but hopefully we will find out soon. Lacefield has cleared out the base. Now they're trying to get forward. It's a 3v4 fight here at mid. Streak's starting to rain in as well. That's going to be Proto calling him in.
Yep. His
teammates do clear it out, though.
Yes, we'll go ahead and keep playing this out for now. Proto with a quick kill on the Llama God. 8-0. An issue with a controller or not, they already had points on the board before that even began to happen.
Yeah, I didn't notice exactly when he stopped.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait for League Ops to make a ruling here, guys. Thanks for bearing with us, but this should be another dunk. Mox, unfortunately, dead again as he lacks the ability to fight back.
He does lack the... It's basically like I'm in the game right now.
Yes,
I think that's the equivalent. Somehow, Mox is 10-6 and hasn't played for the last 2 minutes.
That's actually hysterical.
So that just shows kind of how good he was doing off the break of this map.
Proto looking on picking up Trinity Rockets yet again here. The pass is forward. They just continue to rally. Got just over 10 seconds left now in the first half. It's 14-0. We are providing an example of how crucial it is to have
4 players.
4 players on a team.
Very true. Very, very true. So 14-0 is the score. I believe we'll be getting a reset now. We will end the map.
And hopefully we'll have an understanding of what... I imagine there'll be some sort of points allotted to Enigma6 in this scenario, but
I'm not going to imagine anything. I'm going to wait until the people that are actually in charge make that decision.
They don't let me work on that stuff.
Yeah, for good reason.
I would make it up.
You would be like, okay, they have to flip a coin, and if they flip the coin, they get 10 points, and it lands on heads. If they don't, they actually lose the map automatically.
We're going to play a riveting game of checkers.
Yeah, imagine. Let's bring it in, boys. Get the camera set up on stage. Maven, rock, paper, scissors.
Tiebreaker rules.
Tiebreakers with Maven.
You can see they're chatting about it right now. So thanks, guys, for being patient. We still have a lot of Call of Duty action here for the CWL Global Pro League. It's week 2 of Stage 2. We've got several more weeks before we hop into the playoff, and then right after that, COD Champs. It's a fun time to be alive and loving Call of Duty.
It most certainly is, and what I do want to talk about are the next couple weeks coming up. Tickets still available, mlg.tv/events. Tickets for COD Champs still available.
Come to Champs.
Go to Champs. I have 11 close family and friends that I cannot wait to have at their first ever event. It's going to be a lot of fun.
That's an exaggerated number.
I don't even have 11 family members in total, but no, it's going to be a good time. Either way, next week, you got obviously the new face of E United coming on through with Clayster now on that team. How's Red Reserve going to wind up performing? The week after, talking with Enable backstage, he said, Jack, anyone could finish in the top 2 of that group. That group, Optic, Envy, Epsilon, Cloud9.
I think the argument can be made for week 3 as well. I think both. With how good Red Reserve has been, yes, absolutely. You could see, I mean, a week where Splice and Red Reserve come out in 1 week. I mean, think how amazing that would be. Then you still have Epsilon. It's been a bit of a roller coaster, at least for your European teams. As far as you saw Fnatic clutch up, you saw Elevate.
Look at this map right
whatever
here.
they did.
On the bottom left of your screen, June 30th to July 30th is Stage 2. Tomorrow's July 10th. We're only halfway done with the action tomorrow. Get here. Tickets on sale now, mlg.tv/Pro League. Come meet me, the rest of the casters. If you, for some reason, want to meet Mr. X,
Nobody does.
And see some of your favorite players. And then, just a few weeks after, we're heading on down to Orlando. Don't think they sound like that much there, but either way, August 9th through 13th. Tickets also on sale now. MLG.tv.
I don't think anyone sounds like that anymore.
/ CWL champs. I think it kind of sounds like Momo. Hitting on down there. As now, still deliberations going back and forth. Kind of looks like a game of charades.
Well, I can tell you exactly what's going on right now. Enigma6 will be, they will be pissed no matter what the result is because they had such a big lead. I don't think there's any way to satisfy them in this scenario. It's just one of those awkward things we have to deal with when a controller goes out. But hopefully we'll come to a fair resolution very shortly and we'll get back into the match.
This is an example of where, again, Maven's tiebreaker rules. You would be walking out with the clipboard and you give them the option, right? You either, start with maybe only a 2-point lead or 4-point lead, or they replace Mox with me. And that's how you have to play out the rest of the map, but it starts 0-0. Right? I think that'd be pretty fair.
Whoever buys me a burrito, you win.
Why did you just pronounce it like that? Whoever buys me a burrito. Is there a
you mentioned tacos.
Burrito.
You mentioned tacos earlier. Reminded me there's a burrito truck outside, which I'm going to.
That's another reason to come to the MLG arena.
Demolish
Stop
that.
talking. I'll handle the map breakdown.
Whoa.
If you're just tuning in, Ghost Gaming versus Enigma6. Enigma6 on map 1 to clutch up and in Hardpoint. Was it Retaliation? Did we play Retaliation Hardpoint? Didn't we play? I think we played Breakout. Okay, there we go. I'm just now remembering. So they won Breakout Hardpoint. We then went to Retaliation S&D, where Enigma6 did win. We are now in Frost Uplink, and then you see there Throwback Hardpoint and then Breakout S&D at the end. So yes, map 1 was Breakout Hardpoint. Got confirmation from good old Bansone on the analyst desk, as we just await further ruling on exactly how this map 3 will be played on out. General not in a seat, which means we probably aren't starting anytime soon.
Well, we're waiting on General and company. He's out of his seat right now, but coming into the weekend, we did get a chance to talk to him, learn a little bit about more one of the better players in Call of Duty esports. Let's take a look.
Ever since I was young, I was always known as Jordan General. And it's always stuck by me. Everyone called me a general because when I was first young, I used to play with Legos, and everyone used to say, "Oh, you're the general of your Lego army." So that's part of the reasons why I got my name. And my family takes it fine. They're perfectly fine with it. Yeah, I would say that my name change also speaks of being dedicated to Call of Duty and the team. But I mean, at the end of the day, I just wanted a whole new fresh start and see what that could bring.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. As soon as the players are ready to go, we should be hopping back into the uplink. Excited to get going, buddy.
Most certainly are excited. Maven, so far, Global Pro League this year, what's been your favorite part of having the teams out here almost every single week? Because we're here every week. The pro players come once or twice a stage.
I think what I like the most about this versus something like an open event is, I don't know if intimate's the right word, but you get to spend a lot more time with the guys just chatting, going to dinner. It's a lot more fun. It's just the ability to have a lot more one-on-one conversations, learn about the players, whether it's in-game, out-of-game, which isn't always available at something like an open tournament where there's thousands of people just kind of scrambling around. I think that's without question my favorite part.
I think my favorite part is getting to spend all the time with my fellow casters. All of us living in the same apartment complex. We've been going to the gym together. Just this morning, what, 5 or 6 of us were there?
I already live with you. I live with you in 2 states.
We live together in 2 states. We work out together.
We had a bunch of us at the gym last night. We have Benson, TP, Momo. It's a lot of fun. Prop Ben's looking good, man. He's lost a bunch of pounds, so have you.
No, I'll be honest. Benson is one good-looking redheaded man. Momo, Rel's the better-looking brother. I'll leave it at that. Rel, if you're out there, loving the new dude, bro.
He's somewhere. Who knows where Rel is? Probably retiring.
Again, from other things outside of casting. Gardening, biking. Can we just be honest here? Can one of these teams pick me up? I want to play on main stage. I've had 2 main stage appearances. One was in AW when I wound up carrying Benson against the Pink Wall. It was casters versus Pink Wall, carried Benson. The other one, well, I mainly carried Fox. And the other one was the All-Star game last year. Pretty terrible.
All right, well, your stories stink, but it is now time to kick off the game. All right, so from my understanding, the ruling, I didn't see exactly when the controller issue happened. You saw Mox not moving for a significant portion, especially when they began that rally. We're starting at 0-0. It is a complete replay now of the Game 3 uplink. If you're just joining us, it is a 2-0 advantage for Enigma6, looking to secure this 3-0. And we'll be getting started here momentarily.
Enigma6, you can't tilt. You just got to go into it. Restart how you were just playing. We had that listening, right? And we heard exactly how much they were into it, how frantic they already were. I can only imagine it's going to get louder on that side as we go into the second replay of this map.
Exactly, you just have to shake it off. Obviously not a great scenario for your team. It's just one of those frustrating things that can happen. You have to forget about it, get turned up again like you said, bring that energy, bring that passion, secure the W and close out this series. Because it's just so big, and you know their chances of getting top 2.
There they are. E6, Proto. He's got his hands full this map. We already saw the power that can be pushed by Lacefield, as well as Lamagod in that aggressive category. Teams just getting ready. We appreciate your patience again. Getting back into this map, it will start at a full restart, 0-0. Fist bumps all around. These teams now good to go. League Ops has handled all their business, and I see the map loading on in. Started this one up in 30 seconds.
Ghost, maybe you get a little bit of a breather there to kind of think about what's going wrong in this series, as you've dropped as many maps in this series as you did the rest of the weekend.
Yep.
A restart, another opportunity to get off on the right foot. It's been a struggle so far on day 3. Can they turn it around, Jack?
I think so. I think they will be able to. We'll see how that all plays out now. We are good to go. Frost Uplink, the restart. This time we're watching General off the break, the leader of Enigma6.
General teeing up some nades out mid. Connecting, but not finishing. Able to back him up, but the first kill will be Lacefield. Now Drone being taken immediately to Cliff. The final player, General, does pick off, but they have to rotate back. Otherwise, this is going to be a 1-point score very early. They're set up in position for an interception. Will the interception come in? Yes, it does. That's Royalty going up high.
And that's the downside of pushing towards that outside Cliff area. That's one of the easier interceptions you can have because of how long the drone has to fly. You can literally jump the second the drone is thrown and hit that interception every single time. Enigma6, in the 2 throws we've seen in the first time he played this map, and now the second time here, it's 2 interceptions.
Well, we do see Mox. His controller is now working. He's got Drone. He gets tagged up in a very scary spot and gives them a dunk. What the hell was going on there?
Couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you what was going on there. No idea.
It leads to a... I don't know.
I don't know what's happening.
I thought he was just waiting to kind of toss it out and reset, but he ends up dropping it there and feeding a dunk to Enigma6.
I'm just going to keep letting this game play on out. Maybe it was their own ruling.
Who knows? Yeah. Players took it into their own hands. I'm not sure, but that was certainly very, very odd. But now it's going to be a 2-0 lead for Enigma6, similar to what we saw in the first game before there were some issues. So now we're back at it again. Mox was able to tag up 1, but not finish the kill.
Mox still trying to challenge General. Does finally cut him down. 3 dead on Enigma6. The drone reset. It's now Ghost Gaming. We'll push back towards middle map. And they're still focusing a lot of their pressure. Okay, now they'll bring it in towards the ship. I was wondering if he was going to grab that again and push in towards Research, where he already had a lead blocker. Mox by himself. He'll get cut down. 4 dead now on Enigma6, or on Ghost.
You start to push forward. You're not going to have a gimme here. Everybody's spawning up. You have to get another wave of kills. Wow. You're doing just that. Proto, Royalty, wiping everybody off the board. And this should be another dunk. There it is. Royalty goes big. Proto with the kills and the dunk. 100 now off the Trinity and a hot start. Gets him nearly halfway to camo already.
Oh, he gives away his position. 1 kill off the Trinity. Nice job. Beautiful movement to get out with his life. And now we can at least reset, try to win a one-on-one gunfight to get that Trinity rocket. Unfortunately, you've seen the kill feed there. Doesn't go his way, but the damage has been done as E6 are back up 4-0.
Another scoring opportunity. Last time it was intercepted for Ghost Gaming. They leave the drone behind. They're going to leave that, I guess, the Mox kind of pick up in the back as they all push forward to get kills. They didn't find any. It's Proto yet again, man. The guy has 8 kills already. They're coming in a flurry as well. He keeps picking up those multi-kills, whether it's on offense, whether it's holding the line on defense.
What did I say prior to this map starting up? He's got his hands full. If he can step up to the plate, I think that's their key to success. They're seeing a lot of it right now, and it's because he's 8-6. You've got Cade now at 11-8. Lacefield, it's not like he's having a bad map, but Lamagod is the one really pulling behind.
Well, I mean, all their kills are on defense right now. They've only really had the one opportunity that was intercepted. Everything else has just been fighting for their lives as the onslaught of Enigma6 continues. Can Lamagod turn it around? He's been so good in Uplink. not so far here. And they keep going for this outer wall run to try to get off. You know how hard it is to convert that into points.
Especially when you've got nobody ready to go inside research. That lower wall run, players have gotten better and better at defending it. You see right there, they now stand on top of that outside fence. Gives you that beautiful sight line down towards the lower wall run to shoot the player before he can wind up getting anywhere. General now at the K-bar. Cade, whew, that was an E-Rad from that range. Melts another, 3 dead again for Ghost Gaming there, getting completely mopped in the slaying department.
Cade, a huge part of that, man. He has been spectacular. You know, he's a guy that would take, I don't want to say blame, but, you know, him or Ruiz before would have kind of off maps consistently. He's really, really stepped it up here, and it's been a big part of why this team is now seeing success over the course of, what, the end of day 2 and now to kick off day 3. But we are going to be watching General here. He's just tossing it back to mid. His teammates picking up the kills for him. You have Cade pushing in through ice. Him just watching here for the outside push through cliff. He's grabbed it, moving forward, but 3 kills all go to Ghost Gaming.
Make it another one there for Cade to at least try to relieve some pressure. Llama, God, look at this flank. Are they going to have any idea? Yes, they will. It's General who picks up on it and stops the pinch. That could have been disastrous. Instead, no bleeding in the side of the base for E6. That drone will be moved on out. And now we should be going into the half with Ghost Gaming remaining scoreless.
That's tough. I mean, you have Lacefield. He's killed, what, 3-4 players now in the base, just kind of locking it down. Look at his positioning right now. This is where you are when you're going to be turning something into points. But through that entire stretch, 5 kills, he's 19-11, leading all players. Do you get any points here? Okay, finally, you attack one in on the final seconds, but still trailing by a pair of dunks.
Lacefield is on pace for just shy of 40 kills, and his team's only able to score 1. So E6, they stand strong even through the reset. They're now 5 minutes away from a 3-0 of Ghost Gaming, which would hand them their first series loss of the weekend.
You're right, though. That 6 cents by General to kind of pick up Llama on that flank, because Lacefield obviously already was in a deadly position. You get both those set up. You get a rally there. It's probably close to a tie game very quickly at the end of this. And instead, you still got a nice lead.
They were about to have 3 players. If General doesn't do that, they would have had 3 players charging down ice, and you would have had an E-Rad ready to melt through all of them without any missed bullets. That would have been disastrous. Lacefield tags up 1, will win the gunfight, and that clears out Chip, but unfortunately, it's going to take a few seconds for his teammates to win their battles in middle. They do just that. Ghost Gaming 4 dead on E6 right off the break.
As long as it took you to get the word unfortunately out, in that span of time, everybody dropped on Enigma6.
Intercepted.
But it's picked off, so no more points going through. That would have been a great start for Ghost, just to kind of claw back into this early in the second half.
That's now another interception. Make that the second of this game alone from Enigma6. That's the difference between a 2-possession game that we see and the 1-possession game it could have been if those went through.
You've got a very good scoring chance right now. Cade's got it in hand. He did toss it in, but Mox trying to be the man to decline it. 2 players pushing forward. He is shredding everything right now with the K-bar. Can he continue to hold in research? That was it looked like a very good scoring opportunity for E6. Mox single-handedly shuts it down.
How nuts is this? In the first playthrough, Mox in just 2 minutes of play had 10 kills. Now, as we enter our 7th minute of play in the second part of this game, he's only got 11. Much quieter. Side and Ghost still down by 4.
Well, the next Ghost attack, no interception needed. 2 players stack, and that's a very easy 2-piece for Cade. Cade right there matching Lacefield, man. He's got 20 kills. General picks up all 3, shuts it down. The 4th is beat down. And there's the crispy dunk. 7-1 advantage, 3.5 to go in the second half.
They're getting loud. Every point that goes in, every second that goes by is more and more in favor of E6. I'm hearing some trash talk now come out on the stage as Cade gets both. Ghosted, are you all having controller issues now? I guess so, because E6 are running away with this game.
And I like this use of streaks. Continue the rally going. Just pick him up off spawn. He's able to connect with 2.
God.
Llama and Lace down. Drone back in the hand of General. He's going to be calling in more streaks, just try and secure more points. Unfortunately, as he wraps it back into sub bay, that's where the 2 players are spawning up. I think they got a little bit of a split there, so Ghost is able to hold on.
Only 8 kills separating these teams, but it's 8 points on the board is where it matters. E6. The kills are in Ghost's base. Ghost have not been able to breathe. There's another defensive hold. 2.5 minutes left, Maven. E6 on the verge of a sweep.
You know, if you were wondering whether or not the frustrations from the restart were going to affect Enigma6 at all, I think the answer is firmly a no.
Royalty's yelling now, too. Everyone pushing forward. They look like the better team at the moment. General has had some insane plays. This map again snaps right into Mox. Lacefield, how you doing, my friend? There's the camo dunk. They didn't even need it. 11-1, a 10-point lead.
What has happened in this series?
Oh my God.
Like, not that not that we should be surprised. I mean, obviously we know Enigma6 is capable of it. I think we've all been riding the bandwagon, the wave that has been Ghost Gaming, just due to their fantastic performance through the first couple of days. But you knew Enigma6 could do this, right? I mean, they obviously had it in them, but this is great. Wow.
Proto is putting on a clinic. And the one? Wow. Top 5 play material right there from Proto. Even Generals just trying to use the overdrive to get fancy for the 2-piece. The confidence in this E6 team. Again, when they can finally get aggressive, Maven, when they have the kills and they just put their foot on the gas pedal, they do not let their opponents breathe, and that's what's happening right now to Ghost Gaming.
And it's everybody from E6, right? Like, it's not just one guy getting loud. It's not just one guy finding the kills. It's literally everyone from Enigma6 going huge right now. It seems like Ghost just having difficulty winning any one-on-one fights currently.
E6 in stage 1 only lost 1 uplink map in the entire weekend. Ghost Gaming now, this would be their first uplink loss of the entire weekend, and it's only right it's to E6. This is what we expect from E6 in uplink. It looks like they finally cooled down this on-fire Ghost Gaming team.
That's one way to put it. They've dumped a bucket of water on it.
They've called in the fire truck, brought in one of those helicopter things, those planes.
Wow. And that, I mean, the way in which they did it, it's like we know how huge confidence can be in this. I was talking to Spacely about Mox from Anaheim, and he said he had one-off series. He was switching his settings in game. He was changing his controller. Maybe does this series go in so poor? Mox -12. Maybe he gets in his own head again.
Yeah, this is just Ghost Gaming need to forget this, because now the pressure will really be on them. They had 2 days of coasting. Now they face some adversity, and boy, are we seeing some different colors now from this team. Yes, Lacefield, great. A 7 streak at the end, but this is done. E6 get the sweep to start off their day.
And Sunday, day 3, becoming more and more interesting, match by match. Ghost struggles. Enigma6 takes care of business in a big way. There's the 3-0, baby.
The impossible could happen. The thought of Ghost potentially going 0-6 on maps on Sunday, and the opportunity for Enigma6 to go 6-0 in maps is right there. E6 now face an Elevate team that are 0-15.
And, you know, it's just the matchups, too. Like, if they didn't have to play, like if you were Ghost and you had Elevate today, you don't feel like this is even possible. In fact, they have to go up against FaZe. They have to go up against E6. And you have to think, if E6 is able to 3-0 them, I feel like FaZe certainly can.
It makes me sick, because I saw Ake's tweet last night, a prediction of Ghost Gaming not even being in the top 2, thinking that this could happen. Again, it's just one of those annoying predictions that I know Pat tweets, and he's like, if I'm wrong, then guess what? I had a 99% chance of it not being happening.
Those are my predictions.
Yeah. Well, guess what? Now it's looking more and more possible. This is what Sundays are all about.
Absolutely. It's going to be coming out of the wire. We hope to that final 4th series of day 3 to determine who's getting into the playoffs. But wow, that was unreal. And Royalty, you saw the video, you heard him about joining the team. He's now on stage with Matt.
Thanks, Maeve. And Royalty, you guys take care of business here against Ghost Gaming. What changed from the first matchup to this one where you guys dominate?
Honestly, the first matchup, we just came out flat. I mean, I felt like that first day, even though we got a win under our belt, I felt like we didn't play good. And after we got that win against FaZe yesterday, that reverse sweep, I think our whole kind of mindsets just turned around, and we've just been playing and clicking a lot better. So.
Yeah, and your teammates are playing phenomenal. I know Proto, Cade, General, all had big series. I think this is probably your strongest team. Just talk to me a little bit about your teammates and what they bring to the table.
Honestly, it's just a well-balanced team. Like, I feel like everyone just does their part. We kind of just try to play the objective. There's no really like OBJ in our team. It's kind of just like, we have like our aggressive players, our slow players, and our flex player. And honestly, the diversity of it just works out perfectly. So it makes it easy for me, especially when I came over here.
Yeah, and then now you're going to go up against Elevate. That'll be our next match here on the main stage. What do you got to do against them? Take that series in commanding fashion.
Honestly, we just got to bring the same energy we did this game and yesterday. If we do that, I'm sure we can take the 3-0. I don't really know what the whole sort of standings are with how we qualify, but we're just going to play our best and just hopefully get a 3-0.
It's E6 getting a big 3-0 there against Ghost Gaming. Let's go to Ben on the desk with the boys to talk more about that match.
Thank you very much, Matt. Great, of course, to hear from Royalty. A big, big win for Enigma6. It's a big win for a fair amount of reasons. But before we kind of break that down, I actually want to give Enigma6 a lot of props as a team, simply based on composure. Of course, they're 2-0 up in the series. A technical issue occurs, and that isn't the first time that we've seen Enigma6 so far this year have a 2-0 lead in the series and a technical pause happen. We saw it in Vegas against Uplink Gaming. They still closed out the series 3-0. They're able to do the same thing here. I think that really is a testament to just how composed those players actually are. But in terms of the big picture, Joe, when these two teams first played against each other, E6 obviously lost 3-1. That 3-0 win gives them a lead in head-to-head.
Oh, it sure does, and it's huge for them in the overall standings. A lot of pressure now on Ghost Gaming and FaZe. That last game of the day could be crazy, but Elevate, they could still be that spoiler team. You know, nice match if they win versus Enigma6. Who knows what'll happen? All right, I'll stop right there. But yeah, that last match just got crazy.
Right, it really has. I mean, you can assume that the next matchup on main stage will be a 3-0 in favor of V6. It'd be absolutely ridiculous if it wasn't, but I guess, to your point, Merc, maybe. We never know until, of course, that game completes, but we'll break down that series. Of course, we'll start with game 1, the breakout Hardpoint. E6 come out flying, 250 to 221. Was the final score. Merc, what was interesting to me was E6 found themselves down pretty heavily for not the first time this weekend, yet somehow managed to turn it around and go 50-point plus up. How do they do it?
Yeah, just right here. I mean, it was like 81 to 17 going in a cave. I think the big difference was Llama was on a 6 streak. He ends up pushing the guy behind a tractor. He gets taken out. You know, they were able to have first control on cave level, but Enigma6 break it. It just seems that they break and are able to hold their setups very well. So that just allowed them to sort of retake the lead, and going into that first set of rotations, you know, they had an early lead, and it just seemed like if Ghost was able to hang on and sort of extend it, that would be so difficult for 86 to come back into the game.
I think one of the key things as well, T, was Lacefield really got shut down a little bit there in game 1.
Yeah, it's really not characteristic of him, especially throughout this weekend. I think he ended up like 13 and 22, something along those lines. And when that ERAD battle is just so heavily swayed into Proto's favor, you have to give Proto props there as well. Kind of a weak weekend thus far, and the fact that he's able to step it up in a situation like this. They clutched up last night against FaZe. They're doing it again here. And when you're unsure about these qualification standards that you need, well, just win all 6 maps of the day. Whatever happens, happens. You did your best, right? So you're really putting everything in their own sort of fate, and they're doing a great job, and map number 1 was the best way to start it.
Of course, touch a little bit on that point, Momo. We mentioned yesterday Proto with a pretty subpar performance, not what we expected, but boy, oh boy, did he come out all guns firing in game 1.
Yeah, I had all the same points as these guys. I mean, Lacefield was countered, but Proto kind of stepped it up. He needed to step it up, and he did, which is great to see, especially when you're under pressure, when you know you need to win. That's the time where you need to shine. You need to just, you know, even be putting neutral numbers up if your teammate's doing great. But he went that step further, and he did fantastic. But a few of the points, which was kind of one I wanted to bring up, we touched on kind of the comeback that they made, but they were 80 to 20 down, roughly around those numbers, and then they were 163 to 100 up. So they gave away 20 points while accumulating 145 almost, and it was just mind-blowing. Yes, you know, it was close in the end, but that kind of streak, I think 2-3 hills was really, really strong, and big credit to General. You know, a couple of kill streaks going on, and some score streaks too.
And of course, going into game 2, E6 with a 1-0 lead. They take Retail S&D as well. 6-3 was the final score in this one. And Merc, what impressed you most was actually the E6 retake in round number 4.
Yeah, round number 4, I just thought it was so important because Ghost Gaming, they're up 2-1. Again, they have an early lead in the game. Then they get the bomb down on that bridge, and it's a 4v3 situation, and all 4 of the Ghost Gaming guys were in the back, and somehow 2 of them get pieced by Royalty, and they're able to clutch it up in that 2v1 situation. I just felt like that was such a huge swing round.
And right there, T, was one of the most important kills of that game. General kills Mox 150 off the Trin.
Yeah, that momentum swing right there is really what did it for me on this map for E6 and why they're able to pull away. If Mox gets the score streaks, the camo, this map is just so difficult. Basically slices the map into maybe a third of the options that you have on offense. So the fact that he picks up that one singular kill, absolutely huge. And the rest of it, Ghost did a good job, especially due to Llama hit that 1v2 clutch he had. Very impressive stuff from him to keep his team in it. You can see Llama ended up 11-7, continuing the god streak he's on this weekend, and well, really since Anaheim. So yeah, really good map overall though.
And that was including obviously Llama's 1v2 when they were 4-3 down. That put him at that 11-5. So impressive stuff coming out from Llama God. But again, Lacefield Momo didn't really have a good map without throwing him under the bus. 2-7. needed a little bit more from him.
He's played phenomenal all weekend long, don't get me wrong, but one thing I will say, first map kind of got countered. His E-Rad on Breakout wasn't as... I don't know, it just kind of didn't show in Breakout as much as I thought it would. The second one, S&D 2 and 7, again, that's not very characteristic of Lacefield. You know, I kind of want him to pick it up and going into the next maps he does, but, you know, getting 3-0'd, it's a tough one.
Well, just the thing with using an E-Rad on Breakout is you have to win rotations, right? You can't be on rotation. There's so many sight lines that just favor ARs. In order to use an E-Rad effectively, you rotate to hills, you set up early, you make them come to you. You know, fight in cell block, fight in that cave, fight in commissary. It's so hard to deal with. But when you have to rotate across the map and you're running into NV4s and K-bars, there's just so many situations where you're not going to win those battles. So I think that's the big thing. The rotation battle on Breakout was just won by Enigma6.
And E6 just playing very, very well in the series as a whole. Of course, we talk a little bit about the uplink as well. Frost, it started off very well for Enigma6, very, very well indeed. Then, of course, there was that reset. And then it continued to be very, very well for E6. They just weren't affected at all, Momo.
They just had way too much energy. They knew what's on the line, and they kind of just played that reset, just kind of continuing from that first half. And honestly, I think it's kind of what they deserved. They came in strong. They finished strong. The problem is now you've got to look at Ghost Gaming, and we talked about it before the series. They had a fantastic Friday and Saturday at Anaheim. Sunday, they really did struggle. And, you know, they're the same team. You know, it's the same 4 players up on that main stage. It's no different, but they need to change something, I think. They just need to recompose, and I think, you know, maybe Space is the guy to kind of get that from the squad as well. But you've got to give credit to Enigma6. The amount of times myself, Murky, yourself, Teep as well, all on the stage, just like umming and ahhing, just like, wow, look at the play that Enigma6 is making. That was a prime example there. It was crazy. It was great Call of Duty, and it was very entertaining.
And the 2 players we have to sort of bring up on the side of E6, the weaker players of the team thus far throughout the weekend are Proto and Cade. Yep. On that map right there, really closing it out for the team. Cade going on a massive streak in that second half with the score streaks, just getting spawn kills with Trinity rockets. They're getting loud. They're shouting at each other, just giving props where props is due. And when a team is rolling like that, they're really hard to stop. So it's cool to see Enigma6 finally getting that energy, albeit very, very late in the weekend. Maybe would like to see that day 1 or day 2, but regardless of putting themselves in a good spot, getting that 3 over Ghost.
Yeah, in terms of Enigma6, their role players, I mean, you sort of just hit it. I mean, Cade has been kind of a beast this weekend. Some of the best Call of Duty we've seen him play, especially in Search and Destroy. And he's one of those guys, usually expect royalty. He had a great series. Obviously, you just saw that scoreboard general. But Cade, he's been stepping up, getting some big streaks, and then Proto, just a complete 180 from the past 2 days. Just really stepping up, showing how good his E-Rad and just the pressure on the map that he can put. It's just so good.
E6 putting themselves in a great, great position to try and qualify for the Stage 2 playoffs. Of course, it's not guaranteed yet by any means. Up next on the main stage, of course, they will be going up against Elevate in what we expect to be a 3-0 victory in favor of E6, of course, but it does make that last game of the night just so important. Of course, that's going to be Ghost Gaming versus FaZe Clan. Before that, though, we should take a quick minute to advertise, of course, the Stage 2 tickets. You can purchase yours over at mlg.tv/Pro League. We're here, of course, from June 30th to July 30th, but we are now halfway through day 3 of week 2 of the Call of Duty Global Pro League, presented by the PlayStation 4. E6 with a big win to start off their day 3. And honestly, for FaZe and Ghost, it puts them in a little bit of a sticky situation. Up next on the main stage, Elevate go up against E6 as they search for their first map win.